Welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for October 24th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm Chris Brown.
What do you got?
Well, I'm going to lead off here with, we finally got the last issue of Debris by Curtis Weeb and Riley Rossmo. I've really been enjoying this book. It's a fun sci-fi, apocalyptic kind of story. We just met some other characters here, the girls in kind of the wastelands trying to find water for her people, and then they find this other group, and just a really neat story. I'm kind of disappointed that it is only 4. I would like to see more of this world and keep going here. But, Curtis Weeb's great at telling a story and kind of bringing it to a conclusion, even if he's working in a short period of time. Grim Leaper was even fun at 4 issues. Of course, this just kind of is a little warm-up here because I'm really looking forward to Bedlam #1 next week, drawn by Riley. I'm excited to read the conclusion of that, and that brings me here to Avengers #32. This is the last issue of Avengers. Lots of lasts, apparently, today.
A lot.
The last issue of the Avengers, kind of just building off of all that, the story that they'd been telling, and, through the AVX, and now bringing us to our conclusion. And this is the end of Bendis' run on Avengers, essentially, and then you just move into X-Men?
Yeah, all new X-Men.
Okay. So, this should be cool. Kind of wrap up that story. If you've been reading it, have fun. Get down with it. If you haven't been reading it, we'll just wait a month and you get to start over. Then we've got AVX Consequences #3. This is, again, sort of dealing with Scott in the prison, which has been kind of cool. It's kind of like Oz with Cyclops. Then Gambit #4. This book's been pretty cool. I kind of like it. I like the Gambit character, and as I've said before, I wanted to like a Gambit book, so I've been enjoying it. It's been kind of fun and kind of cool. I think the art's great. It is sort of it feels like a different Gambit. They're doing what they want to do with Gambit. He certainly has come a long way from the trench coat and the headband that served no purpose in the 90s, but I'm liking that book. We're only on issue 4 here, so you could still certainly catch up if you haven't been reading it. Then, as we're getting close to Halloween, IDW here has put out their 100-page spooktacular of Ghostbusters. This is... what is this? 100-page spooktacular. This actually reprints some stuff. So this is issue #1 of The Other Side, which is a miniseries they had done a few years ago. It also reprints issue #1 of Displaced Aggression, another miniseries they'd done a few years ago. And then Ghostbusters Infestation #1. And then it looks like there's 2 other short stories. What in Sam Hain Just Happened, and Guess What's Coming to Dinner. So should be pretty fun. There's some really great art in here. That's like Kyle Hotz right there. Really, really cool stuff. I like the Ghostbusters stuff the IDW's been doing. They've really been giving it, I think, some tender love and care, and I think it's a great book. So if you haven't been reading Ghostbusters, this would be a nice one. You got to jump in and just read some fun Ghostbusters stories. Then I've got here, this is kind of an odd one. This is Multiple Warheads by Brandon Graham. This is the guy that was doing that reboot of Prophet.
Okay.
Which was kind of weird. And the art's it's kind of fun and cartoony, but really, really nice stuff. I'm not even really sure what the story's about, to tell you the truth, but it looked interesting. I like the art. Kind of a weird create-your-own deal. Interesting. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Another new Image #1.
Yeah, yes. So I'm sure they'll be hot. Then Revival #4. What a great book this has been. Now, I have not read a lot of the Tim Seeley stuff. I didn't get into Hack Slash, didn't get into a lot of that stuff. But I don't know what it was about this Revival that sort of seemed interesting to me. And everyone started saying how great that first issue was. So when I sat down and read it, I love it. Very, very cool stuff. And, looks like now we're getting a little alien stuff in there. So maybe that's what's bringing people back to life. It looks like something else is going on. And obviously those things are right in my wheelhouse. All the weirdness and aliens and all that jazz. Then, this is kind of a weird pick here, but I was kind of excited about it just primarily because I think it's really neat. We've got Jeff Darrow is doing Shaolin Cowboy Adventure Magazine. Essentially, he's revitalizing the pulps. It's on paper. It's about the same size as an old pulp magazine. Yeah. It is considerably more expensive than an old pulp magazine.
So are comics, though.
Well, that is true. It is $15.99, but you get 2 little novelettes and some great illustration.
Beautiful artwork.
Oh, yeah. There is The Way of No Way is written by Andrew Vox with illustrations by Jeff Darrow. And then next one is Time Factor by Michael A. Black with illustrations by Gary Gianni.
Oh,
It looks really, really cool. Just a neat idea. Great illustrations by Jeff Darrow. It's all in black and white. If you're a fan of Shaolin Cowboy, or if you were a fan of the stuff that he did on Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot, or any of that, you should check this out. Jeff Darrow is he's also a really neat dude. You know, I at C2E2 I was talking to him with my buddy Andrew, and I had mentioned to him that I just love his artwork and how I could just stare at it because there's so much stuff to look at. I was like, I could stare at your stuff for hours. His response to me, well, that's a giant waste of time. So I like Jeff Darrow a lot. Really, really neat dude. And that takes me through the bulk of my stack there.
I'm going to start off with Batman Incorporated number 4. This is, again, by Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham. This is the debut of Wingman and Redbird, yet another variant on Batman and Robin.
Seems a little lazy, too. Wingman? Really? Is he just trying to help Redbird pick up some ladies? Or what?
You know, well, Wingman is the...
That's funny, Wingman's not the sidekick.
Or is he? There's a reveal in here that actually turns that into kind of an interesting joke.
Okay.
But Redbird is pretty clearly Damian, who died at the end of the first issue, but they're really just hiding him from his mother, making her think that he's dead. So, Of course, now he's a 10-year-old running around named Redbird. His mom's a little smarter than that. I don't think Talia al Ghul's going to pass up on this little kid who can beat the crap out of everybody, who's named Redbird, Robin's motorcycle. Yeah. I don't think that's going to fly.
They should have just called him John Blake.
Well, no, I think she saw the movie.
Oh, okay. She was in the movie.
She was in the movie. Though she died before the reveal, but they stuck her in the Lazarus pit and she saw the end. Anyway, we've got Superman number 13. This is the first actual issue by the new creative team of Scott Lobdell and Kenneth Rocafort. Rocafort's got some great artwork here. I don't really know what the premise is. I know they're delving into a little bit more of Superman's Kryptonian origins. The Zero issue that they did was all about Jor-El and Lara.
Okay.
And it looks like this is going to be kicking off, or at least leading into the big crossover between Superboy, Supergirl, and Superman, and this other kind of Kryptonian Hell? I don't know. It spells hell, but I don't know. It's got a little apostrophe, so I don't know how the Kryptonians do it. I don't know. It looks like it's kind of the bizarre. Is it the new Bizarro? Because he's got the weird backwards S on his chest, doesn't he?
Does he?
Well, you can't tell if it's backwards.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't tell it. Oh, no, it is backwards. So, yeah, the
new
the
Bizarro.
Hell on Earth crossover is starting up, and it looks like this is kind of the prelude to that. Next up, Red Lanterns number 13. The Red Lanterns join the rise of the Third Army. Again, looks like some Red Lanterns killing some Third Army guys. So, yeah, we've got the weird, freaky-headed, no-mouth, new kind of lanterns up against Red Lanterns. They fought Green Lanterns. They fought some of the Pink Lanterns. Now we're getting into the kind of the bulk of this crossover. Everything's joined. We'll see where this will go. I'm sure it's going to end up with a new status quo for the Green Lanterns again. Next up, we got Amazing Spider-Man number 696 coming in on 700.
Yep, getting there.
This is by Dan Slott still, and it is Old Hobgoblin versus New Hobgoblin. This actually should be a lot of fun. I really like the Hobgoblin as a character, and I have not really kind of warmed to this new version of him, and I get the feeling that the old version has not warmed to the new version very much, so hopefully we'll kick his ass and take the name back. But we will see. We've got some really nice Giuseppe Camuncoli on the artwork, who has been doing some good stuff on this book. But yeah, if you're a fan of the old Hobgoblin, he's back.
Cool.
Next up, this was close for the top pick. We've got the final issue of FF by Jonathan Hickman and Nick Dragotta. We've got old Franklin Richards teaching some things to young Franklin Richards.
Oh, cool.
I believe he teaches him how to be a god. I think that's the premise of this issue.
Interesting.
So, yeah, the FF book is the one that Hickman launched. And this certainly has been, I think, even more of Hickman's stamp on it. Even though they are going to continue it with the Marvel now, it's a completely different team. It's no longer the kids. I think he really made Franklin and Valeria his own, even though he didn't create them. So I'm kind of glad that they're not letting someone else sort of take this concept forward.
Right.
I don't know if they could do it as good. They're doing the
No.
kind of a wacky, zany thing, which I think is a little bit more up Matt Fraction's alley than this. So yeah, this has been a great book, and this really is, I guess, the end of Hickman's absolutely stellar run on the Fantastic Four family.
Amazing stuff. I mean, I really think it's going to go down as his being in that upper echelon of the greatest Fantastic Four stories ever.
For sure. Next up, Star Trek Next Generation Doctor Who crossover. This has been really, really good stuff. I mean, they've really captured the voice of both Doctor Who and Star Trek, which is kind of difficult.
Yeah, interesting.
And yeah, I don't get either the Doctor Who comic or the Star Trek comic. Because if I want Doctor Who, I watch Doctor Who. If I want Star Trek, I watch Star Trek. But if I want Star Trek and Doctor Who, this is the only way to get it, as we've said before. And I think this has been a great story, really clever. The two universes are kind of merging. And in this one, we saw that the Borg and the Cybermen had teamed up. And then, of course, as villains often do, then they no longer teamed up. So now it looks like the good guys have to team up with the Borg. And that alliance is something that this issue is about.
Interesting.
Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. If you're a sci-fi fan, if you're a fan of either Star Trek or Doctor Who, you should check it out. Next up, Unwritten. I have not read the previous issue, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is the beginning of something new, but this book is always really good stuff. Check it out. Go back, pick up the early issues, pick up the trade paperbacks. Again, we've got Tommy Tomorrow, the somewhat fictional character, Harry Potter as an adult, and just great stuff. I mean, I can't say much about it because I don't know what's going on. Like we often say with Vertigo books, we'll get a few issues in, and then
just read a stack.
Yep.
It's easier that way.
So that is my stack.
My top pick here is Invincible, number 96. I've really been enjoying this book the whole way through. They've been building up to, again, something larger. We got through the Viltrumite War and it slows down, and then building up to issue number 100 where something's going to happen, and I'm really hoping my favorite character doesn't get their head bashed in with a baseball bat. But we know someone's going to go, and I'm pretty sure I know who it is. My prediction, I'm not giving anything away because I don't know anything, I think the kid that's currently wearing the Invincible costume is going to die.
Yeah, I can see that.
And the reason I think that's going to happen is because he keeps dealing with his parents in such a way where they think he's nobody. But his brother, who was a villain that he stopped, he allowed his brother to die with a better legacy. They think his brother's a hero. They think nothing of him. He's going to die being a hero, and they're going to realize he was. At least that's my prediction, and I think that would be a decent story to tell. But again, Kirkman likes to shock us, and because that does seem like a pretty obvious way to go, probably not going to happen. But we've been dealing with this. The current story arc is where Monster Girl and Robot issues ago had jumped into this other dimension where there was an invasion. They were trying to stop it, and then a few months go by, they come back, but it's been hundreds of years there. Monster Girl doesn't age at all. She's a little girl, but when she's in human form, she does age in this other world. So now she's an adult. And things are going on. And the previous issue, or 2 issues ago, this monster comes back and is like, Father, it's all your fault, and you did this. And you're like, oh no, what did Robot do? Because him and Monster Girl had a thing. Robot's not the father. Monster Girl is. After several hundred years, they had a little falling out. She ends up in monster form, ends up with a female from their land and fathers a child. So now some weird crap's going on. Very, very strange. Love it, though. I think it's been great. And again, we're getting closer to issue 100, where obviously something's going to happen, and we still don't know what's going on with Mark. But this book, Invincible, is fantastic. And if you are not reading it, you really should. They make it easy with all the trades and even the compendium. Go back, catch up on this.
There's many different ways to get this. The big trades, the ones that collect 12 issues, the slipcase stuff. Kirkman makes sure that any way you want to get these books, you can get them. Yeah.
Pick your poison. However you prefer it, however you like to see them sitting on your shelf or whatever, or sitting in boxes, whatever you want, there's a way to do it. So.
Yeah, for sure. My top pick is Captain America number 19. This is we've had several ends. This is the end of Ed Brubaker's run on Captain America. I almost made it FF because that's the end of Hickman's run on Fantastic Four, which has been a fantastic run, no pun intended. But honestly, I don't think in terms of impact, it is as monumental as Brubaker on Captain America. Brubaker, actually, a lot of people don't remember, came on Captain America right around the time Bendis started on the Avengers. The Captain America Disassembled was the end of the previous series. So he's been on this book for a long time. And it hasn't gotten quite the level of attention except when Captain America died.
Right.
But it's been a great run. Really, talk about reinventing the character. I think this may, we talk about Hickman going down as one of the best FF runs ever. This may go down as the best Captain America run ever. I think it's even better than Mark Waid and Ron Garney.
Which was a great run, but this has been stellar. He's managed to juggle all the characters so well. He's made it an ensemble piece.
He brought back Bucky, something that no one thought anybody could do, and no one hated him for it. Everyone praised him for it. The first 25 issues of this were absolutely fantastic, and those were mostly drawn by Steve Epting, who returns for this final issue.
Oh, cool.
And it looks like in this issue we've got Steve Rogers visiting the Captain America of the 50s, who played an important part in the book.
Yes.
And it looks like we've got like a nice retrospective of Steve Rogers' life as he's talking with them. Highlights of, basically 70 years plus of Captain America stories that Brubaker's kind of giving his little commentary on. And it looks like, it ends with Steve Rogers literally riding off into the sunset as Brubaker says goodbye to a character that really put him on the map.
Oh, yes.
And because of that, because it's been just an amazing run, it's had highs and lows, certainly. The Death issue was one of the most successful issues of the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
Really a great book.
And it wasn't a gimmick the way he wrote it. It was a part of his plan. Now, Marvel's got to market that sort of thing, and I get that.
Yeah.
But they also didn't tell anybody until it happened. Mm-hmm. Nobody stocked up on that issue. That issue, wasn't in abundance.
Yeah.
He just told the story he wanted to tell.
A great story. It's been kind of highs and lows. It's gone through renumberings and changing. But this really is one of the best, certainly one of the best comics of the last 20 years. And we're saying goodbye. I think I said last week or the week before that I felt sorry for Matt Fraction following Hickman, that his was the toughest job. Rick Remender doesn't have an easy job either following this. And all topped off with a fantastic cover that really, basically, this summarizes the run. So what has been one of the best Captain Americas ever, we're going to say goodbye to here, and it's my top pick.
I dare say, though, Rick Remender might be more up for the task of taking over for Captain America than Fraction is for taking over FF.
Could be. It depends on, like with Matt Fraction, it depends on which Rick Remender we get.
Fair enough. That's true.
So either way, neither one of them has it easy because
true,
just great stuff. So yeah, this week we're doing a lot of goodbyes. Next month we'll have some hellos.
That's right.
We'll see how those go.
When does it become now? Soon. And with that, that is your Week in Geek.